Niphumelele kwizivivinyo zenu enizozibhala maduzane nje. Sinothisha abanethulela izifundo zika grade 12 zonke izinsuku kusukela ngoMsombuluko kuze kube yiSonto. Zithokozeleni lezi zifundo, nisithumelele imibuzo lapho nidinga khona usizo.
Ngibingelela abafundi. Lo khulumayo uMiss Mbuthu from Pendukani Full Service High School, teaching business studies. So namhlanje bafundi ngizonilekelela ngalama topics amabili okungama business strategies and business sectors and their environment. Ngaphambi kokuthi siqale ngizothanda ukuthi sibheke ukuthi ikuphi ekumele sikubheke uma ngabe sibuka lama topic. Okokuqala nje umfundi kubalekile ukuthi abe ne-exam guideline ngoba iyona esiguide ekutheni i-topic izobuzwa kanjani. So kubalekile ukuthi umfundi azifamiliarize with ama-action verbs that can be used when this section is assessed. Sibuye sikhumbule ukuthi lama subtopics amabili aqhamuka kwi-main topic esibiza ngo-business environment. Uma nginganikhumbuza nje bafundi, kwa-business studies we've got 4 main topics. Sino business environment, sino business ventures, sino business roles, and business operations. Siphinde sikhumbuleke ukuthi bafundi iphepha lethu lihlukene kabili. Sino paper 1, siphinde futhi sibe no paper 2. Upaper 1 wethu uhlanganise ama topic amabili oku business environment kanye no business operations. Upaper 2 wethu uhlanganise ama business ventures kanye nama business roles. So kubalekile ukuthi umfundi uma ngabe ilungiselela for i-exam azi ukuthi imaphi ama topics aku paper 1 and imaphi ama topics aku paper 2. Okay? So ama topic lawo amabili esiwabuka ke namhlanje okungama subtopics ka business environment, ama business strategies and business operations. As I have said earlier on, that is very important because you need to familiarize yourself with the content of teaching, learning and assessment. You need to know ukuthi how is this topic is going to be assessed. When we look at business strategies, it's very important ukuthi umfundi understand ukuthi what is a strategy. When do businesses apply strategy? So a strategy is defined as a plan of action that is used to address an opportunity or to solve a problem. Many businesses, they face challenges. Siyazi ukuthi amabhizinisi akabe neyinkinga. So kubalekile ukuthi ibhizinisi ukuze liqhubekele phambili kumele ke sibe nani nama strategies esizowasebenzisa ukuze sikwazi ukusolve this problem. But we don't only apply a strategy when there is a problem. We also apply a strategy when we want to address an opportunity. Remember that each and every business needs a strategy so that it can achieve its vision and mission. Lonke nje business liyasidinga strategy ukuze sizokwazi phela ukuthi si-achieve i-vision yebusiness nani ne-mission yebusiness. So there are components that you need to master lapha kuma strategies. 1, a business need to develop a strategy. So we are going to look at the steps ekutheni how do we develop a strategy. So this is very important. For a business to develop a strategy, it's very important that we apply SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis bafunda sikhumbuleke ukuthi this is a technique that is used when the business wants to identify ama strength, ama weaknesses, ama opportunities nani kanye nama-threat. So the first step in developing a strategy, it's when we apply a SWOT analysis ukuze sizokwazi phela ukuyibheka ukuthi ikuphi okuhle esikwenzayo kanti ikuphi futhi esiweak kona, what are the opportunities and iziphi ingqinamba futhi ezingafika ebhizinisini. And we also need to analyze i-pistol analysis and also apply IPOTOS 5. So basically, with steps in developing, we need to do application of these 3 industrial tools where we scan the environment. Okay? Step number 2, we need to formulate some strategies. Kumeleke siqikeleleke ekutheni uma ngabe siformulate ama strategies, we formulate ama strategies map azokwazi ukumitha ama objectives of the business. Okay? Number 3, we need to implement. When we implement a strategy, that is when now we are putting a strategy into action. Angeke sikwazi ukuthi sizo formulate ama strategies, looking at different strategies, but singasa implementing lawo ma strategies after seswabona. So implementation of a strategy, that is where now we are putting a strategy into action. And then the last step of developing a strategy, it's when we evaluate the strategy. So when we evaluate, bangani, ilapho khona ke manje esuke sesichecka istrategy esisimplementele ukuthi siyakwazi ukuletha ushintsho. We are checking, we are monitoring, we are comparing the expected performance with the actual performance. So it's very important ekutheni after si implement the strategy, we check phela ukuthi uma ngabe sesiimplementile siyakwazi ukuthi silethe ushintsho. There is another content that we need to know under business strategies. Okuyini strategic management process. I-strategic management process ke bafundi siyasilekelela ekutheni sikwazi ukuformulate ama strategies, siphinde si-implemente, siphinde si-evaluate. I normally advise learners to make use of option 2 because that is a simplified strategic management process. Okay? So laphana ku-strategic management process, the business needs to review the vision statement. They need to re-examine or they need to analyze the mission statement. They need to conduct an environmental analysis. When we conduct the environmental analysis, that is where we use our industrial tools such as IPOTOS 5, SWOT analysis, and the pistol elements. Okay? And then we also need to formulate a strategy where we look at different strategies. Our strategies such as defensive strategies, intensive strategy, diversification strategy, and integration strategy. And then after we have formulated different strategies, we need to implement again. When we implement a strategy, we need to make use of ama templates such as ama action plan. Sibe nohlo lokusebenza ukuthi uma ngabe sesiimplementa ke strategy, we are putting it into action ukuze sizokwazi phela after ukuthi si-evaluate ukuthi uma ngabe sesiimplementile sikwazile yini ukwenza umehluko. Uma ngabe sesi-evaluateile sa-checker, then we need to identify ama-gaps uma ngabe khona, and then after we need to take corrective action to ensure that our goals are met. Okay? So that is in a strategic management process. Kubalulekile ukuthi umfundi angangeni ku-exam room engasazi i-strategic management process. Kubaluleke kakhulu. When we look at different question papers, this question, it's always there. They normally change the action verbs. When we look at different question papers, there was a question A to describe the strategic management process, and it was 8 marks. So abafundi abaqikeleleke ekutheni uma ngabe bephendula lembuzo, they guide in action verb that is used, and they also consider any mark allocation because that will determine any length of their response. Okay, Then let us look at now the 3 industrial tools. So we've got SWOT analysis, we've got Potter's 5, and we have pestle analysis. So remember ukuthi ke SWOT analysis si associate ne micro environment. That is an internal part of the business. The management of the business have control over izinto ezenzeka within the micro environment. Ngithe uma ngabe ngiqala ngathi SWOT analysis, this is a technique that is used to help a business to identify its strength, ama weaknesses, ama opportunities, and threats. So with this content, kubalulekile kumfundi ukuthi akwazi uku-identifya ama strength, ama weaknesses, kanye nama opportunities nama threats. So you will be given a scenario and you will be expected to identify ama strength of that particular business, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are the examples of ama strengths of any businesses? Kubalulekile ke mfundi ukuthi wazi ukuthi ama strengths, they differ from a business A no business B. Okungama strength ethu thina as a business A ngeke kwaba ama strengths any business. But I want to give you the examples of the strengths. If a business have ama employees who are competent, who are skilled, that is a strength of that business. If we ensure that we provide high quality products, that is also a strength of a business. If we have sufficient resources, that is also what? A strength of a business. If we provide a unique product at low cost, that is a strength of a business. So remember that strength and weaknesses are the internal parts of the business. So kubalulekile ke mfundi ukuthi ukwazi ukubona ukuthi lokho kuyi strength se business. Remember I said you will be given a scenario and you will be expected to identify any ama strength of the business. Okay? Remember that ama strength futhi ay positive impact business in, okay? Izinto esigudi kuzona thina as a business, okay? Then ama weaknesses, ama examples akhona. Examples of weaknesses can be if we have ama employees who come late, who are absent. That is a weakness because that will affect any productivity and also profit ye business. Okay? So if we have ama debts that are high, that is also regarded as a weakness of a business. Okay? An opportunity, examples of opportunities, it's when we have or we get some incentives from a government, that is an opportunity. And if we have new technology that will enhance the quality of our services and our products that we produce, and that will be an opportunity for a business. If we grow a business, if there is a possibility of growing a business, that is also a possibility, an opportunity for a business. Okay? Remember that opportunities and threats, these are the external factors of a business. Let us look at the examples of the threats. The threats can be the crime. If our business is located in a high crime area, that is a threat for a business because crime will have a negative impact on the business. Okay? If we have competitors in that area, that is also a threat. Okay? If there are fluctuations in currency, that is also a threat in a business because a business ngeke lenze kahle inzuzo because ama consumers will not buy from a business because of any ama fluctuations in the economy. They are unable to buy goods and services because they have a low income. So that can be the threads of the business. When the technology is changing now and over again, that is a negative impact, and that is a threat for a business, because that will require imali ekutheni sikwazi ukuloke sitshintsha sithenga imishini now and again. I want us to look at the example that is provided here. The name of a business is Dave Digital Sound. This business specializes in selling radios and car sound systems. They employ qualified sound engineers, and the business does not have sufficient capital to buy and sell sound systems that cater for large events. Businesses in the same industry are closing down due to ineffective marketing campaigns. Dave Digital Sound is located in a high crime area. Then the question says, identify or compile a SWOT analysis for this business. So now you need to take a content lapper from a scenario that is provided. Based on we identify what's okay, this is a strength, these are the weaknesses, this is an opportunity, and this is a threat for a business. When we read this case study, this business employs qualified sound engineers. So that is the strength of the business. Ukuthi sikwazi ukuqasha abantu abaqualified, sound engineers that are qualified. Obviously, if employees are qualified, azokwazi ekutheni asenzele umsebenzi ngendlela. Then there is a content that says the business does not have a sufficient capital to buy and sell sound systems that cater for large events. That is a weakness, okay? Remember, we don't have a sufficient capital. The business is lacking a capital. Ukuze sizokwazi phela esizokwazi ukuyisebenzisa ekutheni sikwazi ukuthenga a good sound system ezokwazi ukucaterisha in a large event. So that is a weakness for a business. An opportunity is that business in the same industry, they are closing down. So that is an opportunity for the business to grow, because now the consumers will rely on Dave Digital Sound. So that is an opportunity for a business. We are going to win more customers because our competitors are closing down because they do not have an effective marketing campaign. And then our threat is that Dave Digital Sound is located in a high crime area. That is a threat for a business. That will bring a negative impact on a business. Okay? So okubalulekile bangani la bafundi ikuthi when we are given a scenario and we are expected or required to quote, it's very important that we quote verbatim. We quote content as it is. Kubalulekile nokuthi asikwazi ke ukuthi siquote sizesibhede ngisho spelling ngoba we are taking the content that is provided in the question paper. Uma ngabe singaquote lokho esikunikiwe from the scenario, sizoba nenkinga lapha because we are going to lose marks. Ngoba kuyaye kuthathike ngokuthi uthatha into njengoba uyinikiwe, so awukwazi ukubheda even spelling, awukwazi ukushiya okunye ngoba uthatha into enikiwe. Ake sibuke ke manje uPotters 5. Potters 5 it's another industrial tool. This is a framework that is used to analyze the company's competitive environment. So lana kuPotters 5 we look at the 5 forces: the power of suppliers, the power of buyers, the power of competitors, and the threat of substitutes. Also, the threat or barriers of new entrants to the market. Kubalulekile ukuthi we name correctly the forces. Ayi umuntu usufike nje ubhalile ukuthi suppliers. You must include the word power of buyers, power of suppliers, power of competitors, threat of substitution or substitutes, threats or barriers of entrance to the market. That is very important. Siyazi ke bafundi ukuthi uma sikhuluma ngama suppliers, sikhuluma ngani? Ngalama businesses who are providing a business with raw materials. raw materials that you are going to use as a business to produce goods and services. But when we look at the power of suppliers now, we are looking at the application of these Potter's 5 forces. We need suppliers that will deliver high quality products and raw materials. Remember that if suppliers is a provider with quality raw materials, that will contribute to the quality of goods and services. Okay? And it's also important that a business identify suppliers that are reliable. Suppliers that will deliver goods on time and at right quantities. That is very important. Looking at the power of buyers. Buyers are the consumers. These are the people who buy goods and services from a business. The business needs to conduct market research. Uma ngabe senza market research, market research iyasiza ke kutheni sikwazi ukugatherisha information. I-information ezosilekelela ukuthi sazi ukuthi what are the needs of the customers. Because we need to supply our customers accordingly. We need to provide our customers with whatever they need. So kubalulekile ukuthi asiproduce nje noma yini, but we are producing goods and we are offering services that are needed by our customers, okay? And it's important ukuthi when buyers if they buy in bulk, if they buy goods and services in large quantities, it's possible ukuthi they can bargain for prices to go down. Remember, if ukuthi uma ngabe sithenga izinto in large quantities, then obviously a discount can be given. So sithini ke lana sithi buyers, when they buy in bulk, they can bargain for price in their favor because bathenga in large quantities. Okay? The power of competitors, sikhuluma ngama competitors la, businesses who are selling similar products and goods. Ima companies lawa adayisa lokhu nathi sikuprovidayo as a business, okay? Competitors have a unique product, then they will have a greater power. So kubalulekile ukuthi a business we must try by all means ekutheni supply a unique product, okay? We need to have a competitive advantage. Into ezokwenza ukuthi hayi customers abona ukuthi hayi yazini kubalulekile ukuthi ngithenge ku business A ngoba business A akanginiki lento eyifunayo. So it is advisable ukuthi business enze njani, they must provide unique products. Uma sikhuluma ngo unique sithini awabe different product esiwa provider so that we can win or get more customers, okay? Our products need to stand out from those of competitors. Mela be different. Umuntu asho nje ukuthi hayi ngeke uzukuthole lokho ePick n Pay but uzokuthola kuphi eCheckers kuphela. So our products need to stand out, and as a business we need to have a competitive advantage. I normally make use an example with ikota ukuthi okay, most of spaza shop they sell amakota. But when as a consumer you decide, no, I'm going to go with ikota company A because of flavors, because of indlela ikota bayenza ngayo, okay? Mhlambe it can be a sauce or kungaba ama-ingredients abawafakayo ukuze ukwazi ukuhlukanisa eka company A neka company B. And then threats of substitute goods. Uma ngabe sikhuluma ngama substitute goods, those are the goods that can replace each other. So kubalulekile ukuthi ebhizinisini si provide products that cannot be easily substituted, okay? We need to sell a unique product that will not be threatened by any substitute goods. Kumele ukuthi is provider a good that is needed by our consumers. Consumer sho nje ukuthi hayi akukho okungareplace le good, so therefore I'm buying this good from this business. And then threats of new entrants to the market. If a business is highly profitable, it will attract potential competitors that want to benefit from the high profit. Uma ngabe umuntu ezobona ukuthi hey, that person is making a lot of money ngokudayisa amakota, he or she will want to start a similar business ngoba ebona ukuthi now I want to benefit from this market. Okay, so new competitors can quickly or easily enter the market if it takes little money and time to enter that market. So uma ngabe abanye abantu bebona ukuthi ukudayisa kwamamakota akudingi isikhathi esiningi, akudingi any form of registration, akudingi namali eningi, then it will be easy or easier to enter that market. So lana ke umfundi kubalekile ukuthi ungafocus kuphela kwi recommendation, okay? But kumele ukuthi umfundi uyakwazi uku-identify i-Potter's 5 force from giving statement and scenarios, and akwazi ukwenza any application. Let us look at the pistil analysis. Pistil analysis, I want to take you back to the components of microenvironment that were introduced in grade 10. We said P stands for political, E stands for economic, S for social, T for technological, L for legal, and E for environmental factors. Remember that pistil, it's a component of a microenvironment, and we said macroenvironment, a business or a management does not have a control over these components. Okay? So when a government decide, okay, price of fuel is increasing, we need to comply. As far as petrol, but we need to comply and have strategies on how we can reduce any expenses got petrol in the business. But what is important with the pistil, this acronym stands for P stands for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technological, L for legal, E for environmental factors. Okay, then let us look now at each and every factor. Political refers to any, we look at our government policies, okay? We look at the consumer rights, okay? Economic environment, si checka any, we look at some interest rates, si checka inflation. Remember, inflation is the general increase in the price of goods and services. Uma ngabe kune inflation, prices increase. And what happens if a price increases? Consumers will not be able to demand any goods and services as they used to. Why? Because now the income yabo has decreased. So it will be difficult for business also to take loans due to high interest rates. So basically consumers abanayo buying power ukuze bezokwazi ukuthenga izinto abayidingayo njengoba bebejwayele ukwenza. So consumers are also reluctant to take loans, and also the businesses are reluctant to make or to take loans because of the high interest rate. Then let us look at social factor. Social factor, we look at the socio-economic issues, unemployment. Customers, they will not be able to afford my products due to low income levels, okay, or high unemployment. They cannot afford to buy any basic needs. So affordability is not possible in this case. There is a high crime rate because abantu abasebenzi abanayo imali yokuyiphilisa, and that will negatively affect the business. Okay, i-profit yethu izo-affecteka negatively because asikwazi manje, we need to change ama-trading hours ethu because asikwazi ukugcina abasebenzi isikhathi eside emsebenzini. So obviously our profit will decrease. Also, we need to ukuthi siqasha ama-security, and we need to install cameras because of a high crime rate. Okay, then let us look at technological factors. So lana masibheka i-technological factor. So our businesses may not keep up with the latest technology. Remember, uma ngabe i-technology advance, it change now and again. That requires any imali from the side of a business. But also, the business will be forced ekutheni lenze njani li-retrench abantu. Remember, when technology is introduced, the business will opt for capital incentive strategy. Okusho ukuthi we will no longer depend on the labor intensive strategy. Okusho ukuthi ngeke abasebenzi sisa-rely kubona kakhulu because we are now using machines, we are now using the latest technology. And the business will be forced to send their employees to training because manje sesisebenzisa the new machines, and our employees need to be trained on how to use that new technology. And sometimes our business, they will not be able to afford to buy any imshini emisha ngithi ngoba uma ngabe phela i-technology introducewa, we need to buy the new machines azokwazi ukusilekelela in the production process. Then let us look at the legal factors now. Legal factors, this refers to the labor laws. We look at the Consumer Protection Act, sibheka rights of employees in this case, and it's also important to look at Basic Conditions of Employment Act, where we look at legalities of business contracts. Remember ukuthi legalities of business contracts, these may limit business operations, okay? And business don't have a choice with the labor laws. But what is important is that businesses need to comply. Remember, if businesses do not comply, there are penalties of non-compliance. Let us look at the last factor, the environmental factor. Lana sibheka ukuthi ama operations of the business should not harm what? The environment. Remember, the business needs to disclose environment, ingredients that are used when we produce goods. So ingredients they may be harmful to customers. That is why we need to disclose the information. To produce this, we have made or we have included this in our ingredients, okay? So packaging of some products may not be environmentally friendly and they may not be recyclable. So those are the factors, okay? So kubalulekile ukuthi kulama 3 industrial tools okuyisort, i-pestle, ne-Potter's 5. Learners need to know challenges that they bring to a business, and also they need to be able to make recommendations, okay? Let us look at the types now of business strategy. Remember, in our strategic management process, one of the steps we said the business need to formulate different strategies, okay? We've got 3 types of business strategies. We have integration strategy, we have diversification strategy, and we have intensive strategy, and also a defensive strategy. Kubalulekile bafundi ukuthi uma ngabe wenza these strategies, you must have an understanding ukuthi how does this strategy work and why do business apply this type of strategy. Ake sibukeke manje strategy sokuqala integration strategy, okay? Integration strategy, this is a process of acquiring or merging with any competitors, okay? So when we look at the integration strategy, we've got 3 types of integration strategy. We've got forward integration, we've got backward integration, and we have horizontal integration strategy. Lapha kwi-forward integration strategy, this is when a business combine a business with or take over its distributors. So this involves the expansion of business activities so that a business can gain control over their direct distributors. So what can be an example of a forward integration strategy? So this is when a steel company, a company that is producing or manufacturing cars, is taking over a garage, maybe like a Mazda or like a Ford or like a Mack. Okay? Remember, we said go forward, the business is taking over its distributors. Okay? See, business Ithala, Elkandi Moto, we are supplying Mazda. Okay? With the motor gates. So an example, it's when a steel company is taking over any Mazda cars garage. Okay. Then an example of backward strategy. In a backward strategy, it's when a business combines business with or take over its suppliers. What does this mean? Mazda cars as a garage is taking over any steel company lesi SCC producing imoto. Okay, we are taking over our suppliers. Okay, then the aim is to decrease the business dependence on the supply. Ukuze sikwazi nathi ukuthi okay, we have taken over our suppliers, let us do or produce cars for ourselves, and then we provide our consumers with the complete car. So that is a backward strategy. Then we have a horizontal integration strategy. So in this case, businesses take over their competitors, or a business take control of other businesses in the same industry which produce or which sell the same good. The aim is to reduce the threat of the competition. Ukuthi nje uMazda angatake over ubani uFord. The aim is to reduce competition with the other business. Let us look at the intensive strategy. We've got three types of intensive strategies. We've got market penetration, we've got market development, and we've got product development. The reason why business apply this strategy is that they want to increase a market share. Okay? Market penetration. In market penetration, this is a growth strategy where a business focuses on selling the existing product to existing markets. So in this case, the business is selling the existing product to the existing market. The aim is to win the customers by ensuring ukuthi we are reducing what? The price. Okay? Market development. Market development, this is a strategy that is used by a business. The aim is to sell the existing product, but now into the new market. We are developing a market. We are selling the existing product, but now to the new market, to the new consumers. Okay? Then product development. So the product is available, but we're looking for what? For the new customers. That is market development. Okay? Product development. This is a strategy that is used by businesses. The aim is to introduce now a new product, but to the existing market. Kwenzakalani ke la? We are introducing a new product, but sidayisela bani? Abantu laba akade bejwayele ukusithengela, but manje sesibadayisela i-products entsha. Okay? We can add new or various flavors, e.g. Nangu oros kade ejwayele ukusidayisela ijuice yakhe. Now he's adding a new product, but sisatargeted those people who were buying from the business. Kubalulekile ukuthi bafundi siphinde sicheke ama advantages eza nale strategy sithi incentive. One of the advantages of incentive strategy is to increase sales, is to gain customers' loyalty, is to eliminate competition, is to decrease price, and that could influence our customers ekutheni asithengele phela kaningi uma ngabe i-price injani yehlile. So kubalulekile ukuthi siwazi ama advantages ani e-incentive strategy. Let us look at the diversification strategy. When the business diversify is entering into a new market, we are now selling, or we want to sell in a variety of goods and services. We've got three types of diversification strategy. We've got concentric diversification strategy. We've got horizontal diversification strategy. We've got conglomerate diversification strategy. Okay? So, ngithela kwi diversification. Besijwayele ukudayisa lokho, manje sesiyabona ukuthi we can still do more if we can introduce or if we can sell a variety izinto or ama goods ahlukahlukene. Let us look at the first type of diversification strategy. So, a diversification strategy, it's applied when the business wants to enter into a new market, okay? So, concentric, the business adds a new product or a service that is related to the existing product, but which may appeal to new customers. So, in this case, she add a new product, but this new product is relating to what we are currently offering, okay? An example of the concentric diversification strategy is that, let's say for instance, Uvoda shop, and Uvoda shop is selling cell phones, okay? Dala kumangabe sigugudayisa, we were selling phone akade enza okunye mhlambe taking calls, sending SMSs, but now we are selling a phone, but nama features amasha. You see, we are introducing a new product, but this product is relating to what we've been offering. We are adding a new product that is related to the existing product, okay? Then we have horizontal diversification strategy. This is when a business adds a new product or a service that are unrelated. We are adding a new product, but le product le I relate or I xhumene naloku kade sikudayisa before. But this may appeal to the existing or the current customers. Okay? An example of this, Vodashop is selling cell phones, but now they have introduced isinema. Usuzokwazi ekutheni uma ngabe ungezange uzothenga ifone ukwazi ukwenza njani ukufika ubukela imuva ngithi. This product is not relating to what we have been offering, okay? But this may appeal to the existing. Abantu kade sibadayisela before ama product ethu. Then we've got a conglomerate diversification strategy. We conglomerate bafund. This is when a business adds new products or services that are unrelated to existing products, but which may appeal to new groups of customers. Most of learners confused horizontal no conglomerate. The difference between these two types of diversification strategies, it's the last part. Womabili, the business is adding a new product, but this product is not relating. But the last part of the sentence, iyona esinikeza umehluko, sitheka horizontal, this may appeal to existing, but conglomerate sesithini, the business is adding a new product that is not relating to the existing product, but this may appeal now to new groups of customers. I-example futhi esingayenza la, uVodashop usidayisela amafoni, but uma ngabe sesifika eVodashop sekudayiswa ama-cosmetics, sekudayiswa ama-toys, sekudayiswa izinto zokucamp. Uyabona ukuthi this product now that is introduced is not relating to what we've been offering as a business. So that is in a conglomerate diversification strategy. Let us look at the examples of the advantages of diversification strategy. One, the reason why business apply this strategy, they want to increase sales, they want to grow a business. Number two, they want to improve the business brand and the image of the business, and they want to reduce risk yokudependela kwi-product one. Ingakho ngithe with diversification, we want to enter into a new market, we want to sell a variety of goods and services, okay? Then let us look at the last type of strategy, of which is a defensive strategy. A defensive strategy, iyazisho nje, a business is defending itself. Okusho ukuthi lana suka sineyinkinga zemali. Okay? But we'll need to look at the different types of defensive strategies. One, we have a divestiture or a divestment. In this case, a business sells all the assets that are no longer profitable to a business. We sell our assets that are no longer profitable. We sell our assets esingawasebenzisi so that we can pay in our debts esinawo in a business. And then we have another type of a defensive strategy, retrenchment. Bangani, i-retrenchment bafundi akusikona ukuxoshwa. Yiloko esikubiza ngokuthi yini ukudilizwa. One of the reason ekutheni business will apply i-retrenchment, it's when the business maybe is unable to pay our employees our salaries up, okay? We terminate our employment contracts because of our operational reasons. We decrease the number of product lines, and some of the employees may become redundant. Because of the COVID-19, many businesses are shutting down and many businesses are retrenching employees. Ababakosh ingoba that delays are just because they are unable to pay off their salaries. So that is a retrenchment. And then the last type of a defensive strategy, that is liquidation. Liquidation is when the business sell all its assets to pay our creditors. Lana gege, this is the last option for a business where we sell our assets, we pay our creditors, and we close the business. Sisuka sesizame konke as a business. Sazama ukuthi senze divestiture where we sell some of the divisions that are no longer profitable. Sikwazi ukwehlisa ikweletu. Then si opt a retrenchment where we reduce the number of employees ngoba singasakwazi ukubakhokhela. Then liquidation, it's the last option. Lapho sesibona ukuthi asisayenzi profits. So let us sell all the assets, pay our creditors, and close down the business, okay? So let us look at the steps in evaluating. Remember that after we have formulated the strategy, we have implemented the strategy, we need to look at the steps on how we can evaluate the strategy. So it's very important that we look forward and backward into the implementation process to see whether the strategy was implemented correctly. We need to take corrective actions so that our deviations are kamgile, they can be corrected. We need to draw up a table of advantages and disadvantages of the strategy. We need to look at ibuphi strategy that was implemented and ibuphi strategy that was implemented. And we need to decide on the desired outcome. We also need to consider the impact of the strategic implementation in the internal and external environment of the business. Kubalulekile ke bafundi ukuthi siwazi ama steps of evaluator strategy, our develop strategy, our strategic management process, the industrial tools, SWOT analysis, is PESTEL, the Porter's 5, and also the types of strategies: the integration strategy, the intensive strategy, the diversification strategy, and the defensive strategy. When we look at the previous question papers, there was a question here, outline any 4 steps in development of a strategy in response to the challenges in the business strategy. So kubalulekile ke bafundi ekutheni singena nje ku-exam room siyawazi ama-steps oku develop a strategy. And there was also a question that required you to describe any 3 types of defensive strategy. You cannot describe ungalistang, so you must first outline ama steps lawo 3 defensive. We've got to divestiture, we've got retrenchment strategy, and then sinobani, sino retrenchment. Those are the 3 types of defensive strategy. Action verb to describe. You name and you explain ngaphansi. We are lista wo 3 and then we are explain ukuthi retrenchment usebenza kanjani, divestiture usebenza kanjani, liquidation usebenza kanjani. Okay, so kune question ibisho ukuthi ke you describe any 3 types of defensive strategy. Okay, and le question ihlali 9 marks. Asingawayeki ke bafundi lama marks siwaqoqaqoqe ukuze sizokwazi ukuthola imphumela emihle uma ngabe unyaka usuphela. Then looking at the business sectors, we've got 3 types of business sectors. We've got primary sector, we've got secondary sector, we've got tertiary sector. Siyazi ukuthi ama business sectors are the subdivision of economic activities. With primary sector, that is where we extract our raw materials from nature. There is no production process that take place in this sector. Examples of the primary sectors: no mining, fishing, agriculture, forestry, no farming. With secondary sector, that is now when we produce or we change these raw materials that were extracted from nature, make them we change them into useful products. So this includes any manufacturing, construction, or energy generation. Okay, examples of secondary sector: manufacturing, food processing, building and construction. These are all found in secondary sector. Then the tertiary sector, this refers to a sector that is rendering any service. Okay, that includes all banking, legal, health, and transport. Okay, Bangan, Bafund, you must be able to name the above mentioned sectors from given scenarios. Uma unidi scenario mele ukuthi uyakwazi identify ukuthi okay, this business is operating in a primary, if it's a primary, a secondary sector, or a tertiary sector. Remember that some business sectors siwabuka kanye nani nama business environment. Uma ukhumbula ka grade 10 sawenza ama business environment, sathi we've got micro environment, market environment, and macro environment. Okay, Sati micro environment is the internal parts of the business. Sati market environment, it exists immediately outside, and then the macro environment is also the external environment. Micro, yes, a law or the question in Gashuguti outline the 3 business environments. That is possible, but also I said business studies is about application. You need to apply in knowledge or teach. It's not always the case where a question is or teach. Just outline the components maybe of this business environment, or you outline these 3 business environment. You can be given a scenario where you need to identify the challenges from micro environment, market environment, macro environment. So one of the possible challenges of the micro environment, it can be difficult employees who normally come late, or employees who are absent, the lack of vision and mission, the lack of adequate management skills. So all that forms part of any micro-environment. Then i-market environment, sikhuluma ngani nge-shortage of supply, sikhuluma nge-competition, sikhuluma ngama-demographics, sikhuluma ngani ngama-social-cultural factors. Then i-micro-environment, sikhuluma ngama-changes in income levels, sikhuluma ngama-legislations, sikhuluma ngama-socio-economic issues, sikhuluma ngazo zonke izinto ibhizinisi ezingenayo i-control over zona. So kubalulekile ke bangani ukuthi uyakufunda lokhu as a content, but in your question paper you'll be required to do the application of this environment. You can be given a scenario. Okay, I have a scenario here of Duka Mines. Duka Mines specializes in the extraction of platinum. Their suppliers of mining equipment have increased their prices by more than 20%. The supervisor does not have a good working relationship with his employees. Duka Mines can no longer export their products due to an increase in exchange rates. So now you need to identify the business sector in which Duka Mines operates and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. Ngiyaphinda futhi bafundi ngiyasho. Uma ngabe kuthiwa quote or motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario, you need to take that content as it is. Ungashiyi ngisho. Uthathe ngoba vele ukunikiwe and ukubhala nje correctly as it is written from the scenario. So uDuka Mines, because udila nani specialize with the extraction of a platinum, that business is operating in a primary sector because the business specializes in the extraction of mines. Okay, then if a question elandelayo iti, you need to quote challenges, you classify them ukuthi fall under which environments, and you discuss the extent of control. So one of the challenges that was identified is that their suppliers of mining equipment have increased their prices by more than 20%. That challenge falls under market environment, and as a business, we have limited or less control over a market environment. Also, the challenges that we have identified, the supervisor does not have a good working relationship with his employees. That falls under micro environment, and the extent of control, the management of the business have full control over izinto ezenzeka within a business. Okay, the last challenge that was identified, Duka Mines can no longer export their products due to an increase in the exchange rate. That falls under a micro environment. Tina, as the management, we do not have a control over izinto ezenzeka outside the business. Okay, sometimes you can be instructed to come up with the solutions or the strategies. Okay, asibhali ke bangani ama strategy kade siwenje defensive ubanibani, but you must come up with strategies based on the challenges that you have identified in the scenario. Okay, ngiyacela kakhulu nje bafundi ukuthi when you get to the exam room, you come earlier, you go through your question paper, you select the topics that you are going to respond to, and uwaphendule ngendlela, and also consider the mark allocation. Iyona ezokusiza ekutheni ukwazi ukubona ukuthi impendulo yakho mele ibe yinde kangakanani. Remember that when we respond to business studies, we write in point form. Okay, so that is the end of our lesson for today. I thank you.
Siyanibonga ngokufunda nathi. Siyanimema ukuthi nithamele futhi nakusasa. Ningazithola lezi zifundo ekhasini lethu lika Facebook elithi Go Digital SA Foundation, na ku YouTube elithi Go Digital SA Foundation. Ziyatholakala na ku Khozi FM njalo ngoLwesine kusukela ngo9 kuya ku10 ebusuku. Ningasithola nango WhatsApp kwinamba yethu ethi 068 151